Oh, now I can talk. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Comics Experience Graphic Novel of the Month Club. This is the kids edition. I love the kids of comics because kids are the future, and everybody loves kids reading. We've got a really swell book this month. It is ULTRALAZER, and we are here joined by. Boop, there they are. We have
Nice.
Pauline Girard on the bottom there. Maxence Henry will be with us in a little while, and then YVAN Duque right there.
Yes, perfect.
Yay! Hello, welcome. Thanks for taking the time and talking to us.
Thank you to having us.
Yeah. I always have the same first question because I really like this question, and I think it gets to kind of what the core of what we're doing here is. And it's simply this. Why comics? Of all of the different ways you could be expressing yourself, what is it about comics that excites you, that thrills you? Because comics are very, very, very hard work. And I always love to hear why it is that people like doing comics. Yvonne, do you want to start?
Yeah. I mostly draw like children books, not comic books, but ULTRALAZER. It's a project from Maxence, and he's storyboard teacher. So he's very good to draw all the process on all the frame to an action of a thing like that. And personally, what I love in comic books is the imagination, because between two panels there is a lot of things to live happens in two panels. Sometimes when it's action, it's like 1 second, but sometimes it's like 1 week or 1 year, I don't know. But personally, what I love is the between the panels. This is this kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I love it too. I love how the audience is as responsible for time as the artists are.
Yeah.
The way that you read it as a reader, you fill in the blanks. It's fantastic, I think.
It's exactly that.
Yeah. Pauline, what do you think?
For me, it was a project of Maxence, and at the beginning, I didn't think to do comics because I'm not a drawer. I just write, and even it was my first project, and Maxence is my husband, so I work with him on the project, and we decided to continue like that. And at the beginning, it was not my work, but I always read comics, and I think it's the best way to make a combination between the write and the draw, and as you say, to leave space to the reader to imagine the rest. And I think it's the most today. It's the way to speak about a lot of subjects. Really, in French, we have a graphic novel too, even comics, and there is a large panel of subjects. Is really important. And now there is people who never read comics before. They begin now at 30, 40, 50, 60, and maybe more. And I think it's really interesting, and it's a really important part of art today.
Yeah, I agree. When you said that that you're just a writer, not comics, what do you normally write?
No, I've begun to write movies, but really I began like help writer for a movie, but really comment dire, non-common in a most contemporary art. So I helped someone to write at the beginning, and I write theater when I was younger. and I began to write with Maxence, and now I write my new comics alone after ULTRALAZER.
Yeah, that's great. Yvonne, what's your background for art? Did you study comics particularly? Did you study art generally?
No, I study illustration. Yes, it's making pictures, making having good composition, you know, in the images. Personally, I explore mostly the part with the colors, even the black and white, the contrast. This is something I'm really on to. So this is this kind of stuff. I didn't study comic books. This is really the Maxence part, the comic book, and he bring us to the project.
Yeah.
So for me, apart of ULTRALAZER, I didn't draw comic book. Alone, I don't feel as good to. I don't think I have the the strength to support a as big project. I prefer children book, like just picture book.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but it's really interesting to work on it. A bit frustrating, you know, because I love to draw characters. So to be just in the background, doing only the background on the trees, you know, the city. It's really amazing, but sometimes a bit frustrating because I want to draw the characters. But
Yeah.
I think I can speak for Maxence, and I know it's a little bit the same for him, because he liked to draw always also background. But I think it's the universe of ULTRALAZER is because they have together one part and one identity on characters and on backgrounds. And maybe we spoke for the third tome, for the exemplar, they switch, but it's not. It's only we talk about it, but there is something we would to try.
yeah, we want to try, but
Little part, just a little part.
It's a bit of spoil, but in a little part of the third tome, there will be a moment like the orb, like having an hallucination. So to figure the hallucination, I will draw the characters like in gouache, and Maxence will draw the background in digitally. You know, this is not.
No, it's not true, but we really want to see it.
Really interesting,
yeah, no, I understand.
And more we speak about it, and more we want to see it. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's a great way to experiment and to for you to see your different strengths and things. I guess my question would be, how similar is your art style, Yvonne, to Maxence's? Do you guys draw the same? Do you think? No,
not at all. No. I'm way more on the simplicity. You know, I focus on the very round, simple shape. On Maxence, he have a very it changed between the first tome on now. You know, his drawing like have a big evolution, I think. So it was more round in the first tome, but now you have a very sharp line on this kind of stuff. He's more he have more details than me. We are very not on the same way to draw.
But he spoke to me about that a lot of time, because he really liked when he was child to see in comics and mangas the evolution of the drawer.
Yeah.
and to see that the first case and the last one, and there is really not the same draw.
Yeah.
And I know he likes it. He is coming. I heard him yet, but I know it's a kind of child Madeleine.
I like that. It's you know, because there is always a big progression. You know, though when you say that your art is different, I don't know. I think they mix very well, Yvan. I think when I look at the final work, I wouldn't have necessarily been able to tell this was two different people doing it.
But I think there is there is also a post production. Maxence is making some light. He's trying to intégrer,
to add on the picture.
Yeah, to add on the picture, it's like osmose. So there is a little work to adjust the two styles. And there is Maxence.
Hello, Maxence. How are you? Hello.
Hi, hello.
Is the baby asleep now?
I'm not sure.
No, we have a baby phone, and no, it's okay. She sleeps.
Yeah, she's quiet.
Well, if one of you have to go, we will understand it.
Okay.
So I was asking them why comics, of all the different ways you can communicate, express yourself. What is it about comics, Maxence, that excites you, that thrills you, that makes that a way that you want to tell stories?
Just, il n'y a pas de traduction.
Okay.
Si tu me dis, je peux traduire. Okay.
The first reason is that I love comics and I grew up with comics. It was maybe the more natural way.
C'est bien.
Yes, I think it's the only reason, because we draw.
He always dreamed to have his own comics, always, since child, and he just want to make something for children, and c'est ça, faire pour les enfants. C'est le premier truc. The first thing to do the same thing that he read when he was young. You know, to continue the cycle. Like today, there is children and they read it. So, like he reads the novel when he was.
Yes, and it's easier to show our ideas and to comment dire, raconter. To tell stories. Because if you have just one idea, you have to draw a quick draw, very rough, and you have the intention of the movement, the expression on faces, action. It's for us maybe, and Yvan will tell us. Il a dit avant? Il en a parlé un petit peu avant?
On a répondu déjà.
Yes, it's. Maybe we could have make some animation, but it's too work for a little result. We were three friends to work on it, and maybe for us it's the best way. Maybe we could have made an illustration book, but I think on comics you have more details. You can have just a frame on 1 second in animation, but this frame is more important than the rest, and you have something more powerful. I like comics, and I read only comics. I can't read books. Comment dire, roman? Novel. I can't read novels. I would like, but I don't. I can't. I don't know why. So comics is the best way for me, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. Is this your very first comic, Maxence?
With Yvan, we made before an independent comics with crowdfunding.
Yes.
So we made around 35 pages each of us. It was a great experience, but comment on pourrait dire?
Crowdfunding.
Yes, it was a crowdfunding project just after our studies. So we were young. It was
A lot of work.
a lot of work and experimentations. But yeah, we've got. Tu l'as avec toi, Yvan, ou pas?
Pas là. Non.
Moi, je peux aller le chercher. I
No.
can show you the cover of our comics if you want.
The really first comic.
Yeah. Okay. I come in 2 minutes.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. Maxence made animation, study, but he was not he prefer comic book than animation on his switch.
And I think there is something that it works for Maxence is really lonely work to make comics.
Yeah.
And with animation is not the same. And to be in a studio with 20 persons who work together and the screen is not twin.
This is the cover.
Very nice.
It calls Cataract.
Uh-huh.
And there was 4 stories.
Oh, it looks nice.
Yeah, this is YVAN DUQUE style.
Uh-huh.
Was his part.
Very, very nice. And you said
my part.
you said this was independently published. Does this mean that you published it yourself, or?
Yes. Yeah, we did everything.
Yeah.
From the writing to everything. You can tell, Yvan, if you want.
Yeah, we made like a Kickstarter, and we earn enough money to make what we want to do. And after that, we made all the PDF and print the book with a printer, and we went to comic book show and to sell directly. It was a very great experience, and the way to have like a visit card for the publisher. So okay, we made our first comic book, and it was really interesting, very exhausting, and very badly. We worked like one year on it, and we earn maybe €0 on it, so it was not it was a terrible business plan, but it was a great experience.
And Maxence and me, we lived together at this time, and there is in the box in the salon, in the living room, and we make the mail to send to the people who paid on Kickstarter. All the day we do that.
Yeah. There was 1,000 prints.
Yeah.
And 600 send by, comment on dit la poste du coup, l'équivalent, c'est quoi?
By mail.
Mail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
very
exhausting.
Interesting.
Yeah, we saw all the fabrication of book. It was, I think, a lot of drawers or people who work in comics doesn't really know how a book is made for fabrication, how they made the book, and maybe it helped us to work with our publisher to talk about how you can print colors, if we need a Pantone on the cover, something like that. It was really intense, but wonderful.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I just because I'm curious, did you also try to sell it to retail stores, to other comic book stores, bande dessinée stores, I suppose?
Yeah, but mostly on our city, on around us, but not, all around the world or all around France. Just on the small circle.
Locally,
locally,
yeah.
yes.
It's funny because today sometimes we have a mail. Maxence received a mail to say, "Oh, where can I find the cataract?"
Yes.
It's 10 years before.
Is there a number 2?
Yeah.
No, never.
Yeah, but at the beginning we were supposed to make a lot of volume on each of us have our story to influence the story of the other. It was really fun to do, but we were 4 on 2 people of the project didn't want to continue. It's more complicated, but we don't continue on this project.
I understand. And so by taking that to comics conventions, shows, regular publishers saw your work. Is that what I was? And then did they come to you and say, "Hey, do you want to do something for us?" Or did you then pitch them ULTRALAZER yourself? If you understand the distinction there.
Yeah. It's not directly on comic book show, but after that, Maxence have the project of ULTRALAZER, and in first send it to publisher, and they tell him like maybe, but I'm not sure. And after that, he proposed to me to try a version with me on the background, on him on the the character, and we made like 6 or 7 pages. I don't remember, and we sent this again to a publisher. And this time it was okay. Let's do it.
Nice. And it was it specifically? It was ULTRALAZER, or was it just general samples?
No, ULTRALAZER.
Okay.
Because Maxence had the project since a long time.
Yeah. So, Maxence, do you want to talk maybe a little bit about the origin of ULTRALAZER? Like what your thoughts were for coming up with this story? Like, where did it come from?
Like Yvan said, there was a first version of ULTRALAZER. It was really rough. I don't have really. There was not a story very constructed and specific. There was some ideas, but maybe it was more influenced by cinema, movies, and I just wanted to do something with a little boy and comment dire un cerf du coup like Bucco. Comment?
Yeah, a deer. Bucco.
Yes.
Oh,
And
like
I won't have two characters, 2 main characters like them, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with them. So I made a first try on the project, and after I sent to publisher, and they said that it was no, c'était sorry, it was a long time. I sent it to someone we met on the radio, who was a publisher in France, named called Fred Blanchard, and he sent us something about that it was not enough constructed. Comment je peux dire ça? Dire qu'en gros, c'était pas assez. Qu'il n'y avait pas assez de construction scénaristique, que c'était pas assez.
It was too light. It
yes.
was too light in the story. And they asked to find something deeper and to have a really story with some arc for the characters and everything.
I was not enough mature to make something really built. So I decided to restart. Only I just keep Orb and Bucco, and everything was vanished.
And he come to search maturity from me.
Yeah.
And from Yvan.
Yes, And we had another writer who helped us to construct the document to give to the publisher. So he just give us some documents, and he gave us some advices to work better, and we started to work with Pauline and Yvan in different way, and maybe with more establishing a plan on the project. And the difference with the first try was that we wrote a world with rules, and we said, okay, now we have rules how is doing the world, or how the king of beasts give his power. There is a guardian, there is little beasts, sacred beasts, and we have to make a story about a little boy in this world, and then we constructed the world and the story of Urban Duquet, and we started here, quoi. Et après, je sais pas si vous avez des choses à compléter. If you want to complete, Yvan and Pauline.
No, but after we worked together, and I worked with Maxence on the story, and after we made some meeting with Yvan at some point, and we work all the day, and we try to find funny things, or sometimes we just need to be free to find the best way to imagine the story and respect the universe and the logic of the universe.
I had some ideas about what I wanted for heroes, about evolutions of. But when we did meetings,
we destroyed everything Maxence imagined.
Yeah, so we're just making jokes. I was really serious.
He was really serious, and we make jokes. We made funny things, and Yvan invented Cabillaud characters, and that's.
So they were so funny. So I was here. I have too many jokes. How will I make this on the project? But the ULTRALAZER is very much better when we did meetings, because there were an alchemy between us, and I think I couldn't make another volume alone. It could be just with us.
Yeah, it was interesting for me to take part of it, because they are a couple. You know, sometimes it was difficult to take the advantage on the other idea. You know, so I come with a fresh eye on. Okay, we will go to this idea better than this one. So
we always say that it's the project of Maxence, and he will have the last word. But we always try to change his ideas, and we have to convince him to change it all the time.
But always to make the story better. So
it's ULTRALAZER. It's a part of three of us, I think.
But sometimes I did some tests about their ideas, and sometimes it was really great when I made storyboard. Sometimes it didn't work, so I just say, well, sorry, but no.
Because Maxence makes the storyboard, he can do.
I can kill everything.
Yes, we can convince him, but after he does what he wants.
Yeah. So let me ask a question about sort of the physical way that you work together as three people, because that seems like it's a little tricky to have three different people working on one thing. Do you have did you have a formal script you know, like page 1, panel 1, this character says this, or was it more of like an outline of in chapter 1 these things happen?
No, we had a screen, we have a script, but not panel by panel. But we have the first chapter, and Maxence after have to do with that. We have the dialogue. Comment on dit le dialogue, Yvan?
The speaking.
Speaking. We have the speaking. So all the text, and after it's Maxence to find a way to put this in panels and.
We found we have a really simple way to work. Storyboarding is Pauline and me are working on text, so it's easy because me I just keep the text and I work on storyboarding.
Yeah.
And after with Yvan we have a meeting and we talk about how he will make this panel, because with his style with gouache, it's sometimes there is something I draw on storyboard, but it doesn't really work with his style. So we talk about it, and after he work on the painting, he send me. I take it and I draw characters on numeric with Photoshop.
Yeah.
And it's really simple, and because maybe our characters, we are comment on pourrait dire, genre
personalities. The personality.
Ouais, oui, qu'en fait on fonctionne bien entre nous, tu vois.
I think it's a part of the job that we are friends at the beginning, before the project. So it was really like a child meeting when we spoke about the project, and we were really enthusiastic to work on it. So when we have ideas, when we find that the idea of one of us is good, we always try to put it in the comic. So it's easy, and if there is a bad idea, we say at 3 it's okay to have
and we know us very well, so I know what Yvan will do, but it's never what I have in my mind, but I love to discover what he made of background, so it's a pleasure to have his work and to complete with characters. Maybe Yvan and Pauline, and it's the same for them, because they don't know what I will make on storyboard. We discover it. Sometimes we said, oh, you can do better, or maybe you can change these elements because it's not good, or this joke doesn't really work. But
or a face of a character that doesn't match with the speaking.
I think our friendship give us freedom for work on it. Quoi.
Yeah, but the storyboard part was really interesting, because at the beginning of the script we were maybe way too ambitious. Like, okay, we will write the new Lord of the Ring or something like that. After
a lot of characters everywhere.
Start to draw the storyboard. Or if okay, we need not 120 pages, but 2,000 pages to make this. So we have to rewrite it correctly. It's a bit frustrating, to just focus on the better idea. On some of the great character we wrote, we just have to skip it, because 120 pages is really quick to. It takes a long time to draw and to build it, but
on the second volume, some scenes I was oh my god, this is like I draw a berserk style. There is 100 characters on the. I will die. Never I will do this. So
ULTRALAZER, in fact, it's a noob project, because the professional drawer of comics, they don't do that. you don't do this style, you don't do everything in painting with a lot of details, with hundreds characters. You don't, because it's not.
Some did, but
well, no, it's too hard.
That's funny. So did you, were there things that you, in fact, went and drew and then realized, oh no, we have to cut this out, it's not going to work?
On storyboard, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in storyboard, we have maybe 100 pages who have been killed.
Wow.
And there is some scenes we just drop out because it was not it was not easy to read. It was very confusing. And some we talked with our publisher who said you can do better. It can be more clear, more efficient.
Yep.
But on boards, on cleaning boards, no, I don't remember.
We didn't skip finished pages.
No, because Yvan works too much on them.
Yeah.
With painting, so he begins to work when we are sure the storyboard is okay.
Makes sense. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes I maybe on Photoshop I modified some elements. Maybe some boards are. I've never. I didn't read it from a long time, but maybe so. Maybe I don't know. But I think I like to see something bad. Maybe the first the start of ULTRALAZER is not perfect, and I like to see it, and I'm thinking, okay, I was really not good at the start of the project, but I grew up with, and maybe it's better now, and I like it. So I prefer to say, okay, I will do better the next time, but okay, it's finished. I don't have if I retake all boards I don't like or them I could be better on. No, there is only 10 pages of the first volume, so we are very we made it on a long time, and I think it's a very bad idea to think like this.
So my next question would be, Maxence, how quickly do you work? Like when you say, oh, well, we just sort of threw out 10 pages, was that like 2 weeks worth of work? Was that like a day's worth of work? What you know what I mean?
It's complicated to evaluate.
Yeah, I don't really know.
You are really fast.
I
really fast. On my opinion, he made it really fast, and he made the character really fast too. So a lot of time I feel a bit of pressure because I didn't paint the pages fast enough to. It was every time on my back. Okay, the next pages, but it never with pressure, but he's faster than me, and I work fast, so I think he's really fast.
I send him a lot of mail to say I want now the next page. No,
but it depends of the scenes, and it depends of the action scenes are, I think, for you easier to draw because than the very hard on structure with a lot of characters, no?
Je sais pas comment répondre.
No.
T'as pas à répondre, je pense.
Non, mais
No, we are okay to
No.
say that you are really fast, but 10 pages, it's difficult to evaluate because it depends of if there is a lot of actions or not, and it's difficult because Maxence has another job too, so it's. Est-ce que tu fais vraiment 10 pages d'affilée?
Non. Non, comment on dit, le temps est fragmenté, quoi. Enfin,
Yes.
time is like for us is like a puzzle because I work like a teacher on storyboarding and I do comics and I have some project and sometimes I do like even freelance work in animation.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes I drew 10 pages and for 1 week or 2 weeks I won't work on it and I keep it after and I say okay they were good so I can change some elements. I think the most difficult is when I like a scene I drew and I know that I have to kill it because for the story this is better to have the scene next more on more pages. And I know that I have to change it, and maybe I need 1 month or 2 months to accept. And sometimes Yvan and Pauline said to me, mets ton deuil, fais ton deuil. Just accept your death of these pages.
Take your time.
You have to do. You have to do it.
Yeah.
But so yes, maybe we.
Sometimes it's just one character. Oh no, he's very good. I have the real face, the good face. I have the good eyes, and.
But maybe we lost. I don't know, 100 hours of work, maybe 200. It's
difficult to.
Yeah, it's complicated because. If we have all of our time working on ULTRALAZER, maybe we made it on 8 or 9 months, but with our different works, we made
3 years.
For the first volume, 1 year and a half or 2, I don't remember, and the second was the same.
Just 1 year.
Just away?
Yes, the second one was way more way quicker.
That's why I was so tired.
Yeah.
You said, Maxence, that you teach storyboarding. When you say that, do you mean animation storyboarding or comics? Okay, so it's animation.
Yeah.
What if this might be too big of a question? But what do you see as the main differences between doing a storyboard for animation and doing layouts for comics?
I know for some for some authors there is a different way to do. For me, it depends of the project. For ULTRALAZER, when we did meetings with Yvan and Pauline, we gave us a lot of references with animation, movies, and in our mind we just I think we watch it in animation, and I storyboard it in animation. Maybe I have there is more frames to cut scenes in more frames than animation. If I had to do in an animation series or a movie, I think some plans will be the same. But it depends of the project because I'm working on another project of comic book and I change the style of storyboard. So
let me try to be a little more specific with the question. Maybe in animation, the story is moving along at the rate of the camera, essentially. Right? Like there's 24 frames per second, and it's always going to be 24 frames per second, and you cannot change that or do anything about that. In a comic, your unit is the page, is an individual page, and each page needs to be relatively self-constrained, right? And then you also have things like the end beat at the end of each page that is the page turn, right? So was it a challenge for you to do the layouts, to make that adjustment from we're following the camera to, oh, I actually have more control of the unit? I don't know if that quite made sense.
Yes, completely, but it's very difficult to answer because for me, comic books, you can make a story quicker than animation. So for me, it's easier to draw it because you know that the result will be quite the same than storyboard. In animation, there is the movement, there is a lot of things to anticipate with cameras. So it's very difficult.
Est-ce que c'était dur pour toi?
But no, it was not difficult for me to storyboard on ULTRALAZER. For me, it's easier than animation, because in animation you have to have the good timing. You have to know how there are more rules to make a narration.
Sure.
There is the 180 degrees with camera. There are some rules of how you cut from a plan, the direction of look. In comics, you can make a lot of
you have liberties to play with the draw.
Yeah, and maybe it's easier because you when I draw storyboard, this is I work with two pages, so I saw really what the people will read, and it's easier to know how his eyes will look at the first frame, the second one, and how I have to make the feeling of movement. And in animation, if the animation is bad, and this is for a lot of animation, it's more strict, and you have when you are author, when you work in animation, you have to be confiant, faire confiance.
Confident.
To be confident in a lot of people, to be sure that the final product is really what you have in mind. Me, I just have to draw, and I know Yvan will do a very good work, and it's very easy to me to do this.
Yeah. And you work purely digitally, is that correct?
Yeah.
Digitally, okay.
I would love to work in a traditional way, but I didn't find the way to do it for now. So maybe in a few years I will work differently. It's not. I'm not bloqué. I'm not
stuck on
the fact with the digital.
And Yvan, when you get the digital files, you're then working physically, though, yes?
Yeah.
Put them back on the camera, Ben. There we go. So you're working. So what do you print out? What Maxence gives you, and then paint on that, or how does the process work?
No, I follow the sketch of Maxence, the storyboard, but I take a lot of freedom from it, because sometimes we don't have exactly the same way to think a picture. So sometimes I respect like the right half of the panel is for the character, so I didn't put interesting thing on the background on this place. But I'm not really strictly on the draw of Maxence, of the sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not clear on how you're physically working. Are you?
Oh no. Okay. I just made a sketch. I didn't print the sketch of Maxence. I just redraw it, and after that I paint directly with gouache. On it depends of the panel. You know, some of the pages have a lot of characters on it, so I just make like wash on just highlight. On other panels are way more detailed, so it depends of the panel. But
yeah, but you're physically redrawing his character work?
No. I just ignore completely the characters. I just figure that there will be the character on this place and didn't.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, you know. Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
Sorry if I'm not really clear.
No, that's fine. And then they take your backgrounds and scan them in.
Yeah.
And then they marry the two of them together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But sometimes it's difficult because of the value, you know, because if I made a background like a very bright background, on Maxence planned to make the character in front of it, like on the light too, it didn't work. So Maxence after that come with some
filters.
Yeah, some filters or effect from Photoshop on to adjust adapt it. But yeah.
So this is actually interesting to me. Let me make sure that I understand this. You're both coloring the work, is that correct? In other words, Yvan you're putting up, here's the background, then Maxence, you're marrying the foreground to the background and then coloring in your characters yourself.
Yes, and sometimes I took the global color of background and I apply it on characters to have
the light.
The ambiance, the mood to have a general mood. And sometimes, like said Yvan, I do some shadows to just for characters.
In fact, they work like a kind of animation studio.
Yeah, like all 2D animations.
Yeah.
And we made an exhibition with a system of backgrounds of Yvan and
glass.
A glass.
And you put characters on glass, so you can
characters on stickers, and you can just watch backgrounds and to show. It was.
Really that makes sense. The only reason I ask is because that's really not a traditional way of doing things in comics, right? Almost always, the person who's doing the background art is doing line work rather than painted work. You know, and usually coloring is a distinct step from penciling and inking. You know. It's a whole different thing, but it sounds like you're doing it in the middle, which is I love. This is one of the things that I love about comics. You know, I was asking you guys what you love about comics. I love about comics is there's not one way to make them. There's a million ways to make comics, and every single one of those ways appears to be correct.
Yes, exactly.
And we have some friends who work on different comics, and they explain us their way to work, and it's completely different. And in drawing, but in writing too. So this is very hard to learn how to do a comic book because it depends of your skills, of what you want to do, of your open-minded, of a different way to make this, and if you want to work alone or with friends or with other people, but this is I think it's really great because we have a lot of different comic books, and it depends of people who read this, and maybe we are nostalgic.
Nostalgic.
Yes, we wanted to make something very nostalgic, and when we talk about what we love, all the same references we love together. So it was easy to did this process of work with all of this.
So when you talk about nostalgia for older comics, what's kind of your key comic that you have in mind?
Vas-y, Yvan.
No, for you, Maxence, it was Dragon Ball Z, no?
Yes, but the first manga I read, the first manga, but before I read other comics, French comics, but in the work of ULTRALAZER, the references was more movies. We really talk about movies, old movies.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe The Lord of the Rings is the first things we talk about because the film is so dense, complex, and very rich. If you want to talk about something very precisely in a scenario, you have in the Lord of the Rings there is quite everything. So it was the first reference. But in comics, Yvan et Pauline, vous diriez quoi?
Les bergères guerrières. No, it's a joke about friends, but on comics, I don't know, because for me, my culture is more traditional for comics in French, so Astérix, Les Tuniques Bleues, so this kind of thing. So I like the jokes that inside, and for me, the most important thing before it was to read the story, and I didn't understand the importance of the draw. It's stupid, but I know how it works. I know illustrators. I know the work it is to do that. But like a reader, I just read it. I like or I don't like. I love or I don't love. So
yeah, Pauline was more of a cinema fan.
And TV shows, so I have a most
culture.
Ouais.
And
culture,
Yvan and me maybe animation and comics, mangas a lot. So we talk about animation movies. I don't remember.
Yes, the Miyazaki movie, you know, like comment ça s'appelle? Mononoke. Shiro, All Movie Castle, you know.
But I know Mononoke Princess is a reference. A lot of people talk about with ULTRALAZER, but I remember in our meetings we don't really talk about it.
No.
Maybe it was more about The Last Airbender. We talk a lot because it is one of my favorite animation series. Maybe we talk about I don't really. Qu'est-ce qu'il y avait? Je sais pas en fait les références.
We talk a lot about the comic book Donjon. I don't know if there is a translation in English from it, but from Lewis Trondheim on Johan Sfar.
Oh, sure, yes.
A very big saga, you know, and you have 3 different time space. So this is really crazy, and you follow all the evolution of the characters and the relation between them. So it was for me personally, it was a big influence, and I tried to bring it on the project.
And maybe we talk about video games a lot, and retro video games like Pokemon, Zelda, Maybe Dragon Quest, which is in quite the same way, same mood like ULTRALAZER.
Yeah.
And,
what about Mobius? Like Arzak or I feel like at least some of the I don't know, the texture of the world made me think of.
Yeah, I understand. I think it's the very free way to adapt the world. Especially when I work, I add on my Pinterest a lot of documentation, a lot of images, but when I start to work on it, I didn't see anything. Just like I didn't. If I have to draw a tree, I specifically didn't have a look to a tree because I want to draw my tree.
Sure.
And I think Mobius have this. This is my thought, but I think Mobius have this kind of way to draw it, very personal way to a personal vision to the world. And don't try to be very realistic, even if he was a so talented drawer.
Yeah.
It's funny you talk about Moebius, because when I was young, I didn't read his book, and for my art studies, I work about the theme of chaos, and I buy a comics of him, and I discovered his world, and there is something I think we have a lot of in common, but I don't really know his world, and maybe we have I don't know. Maybe we work like his mental way to he worked. I don't really know the man and how he worked, but maybe we have something in common, and we don't really know why and what. But I love what he did. I see an exhibition in my natal city, and it's a very small city, and it was just before his death. And I discovered all this printed work, and it was really wonderful. And it was maybe 2 or 3 years before ULTRALAZER, and I discovered a really great work. And when I know that all of my students try to take his style and to draw like him.
Sure,
it's really funny.
Yeah.
No, it's because more we speak and more I think that we don't do comics. As you can see, we don't write comics, we don't draw comics, and even our the inspirations are not from comics. So I think it's that we said at the beginning, it's the funny and important thing in comics, that you can do that, you can try something, you can test things. And I think it's because ULTRALAZER now it's so atypical, in French. They said it was for children, but a lot of adults read it and said, no, it's okay. And even graphically, when you see it with the other comics, it's really strange. You don't know if it's a comics, if it's a manga, if it's a... I think it's a part of the identity of the final object. It's this way to imagine the project, but maybe the most important when we work on it, at the beginning, it was to create an universe. And it's because we are really attached now to this project. It's not a project of comics, it's a creation of a universe. I know it's strange to say that, but when we imagine it, we don't do only the script. We imagine all the things around, all the life of the characters, and the joke and the past, and maybe we can make a story about each them and we have in mind the all stories of the people in this universe.
Yes, and when we did this, I just have one idea about the end of the story, and for the main character, and it was really like the way it was easy to go in this way, and yeah, there was the world and the main character, and ça nous a aidé à emprunter un peu genre une voie. It was a red line to follow.
So this brings up something you just said, Pauline, about how it's meant to be a children's book, but adults are reading it as well. But when you were creating it, when the three of you were building the story, were you thinking in your heads, oh, this is a story for children, or just it's a story?
It was just a story for big children like us.
Big children,
we
okay.
Want to do a story for people like us that like children stuff and like adult stuff, and just when we write it, we take care to don't put things too hard to understand for children. But we knew that a lot of people like us, like kind of geeks of 30 years old, love this universe that we made, I think.
Yes, for me, it's maybe a little different. I agree with Pauline, but
always
my dream was to that children discover ULTRALAZER, and just me, I discovered Dragon Ball, and it was a revolution for me, because in France we just have Tintin, Asterix, Lucky Luke, and mangas arrived in 1990s. So when I found this, I remember when I was young, I just thought about Dragon Ball all the days, and at all hours I was just thinking about Son Goku, Gohan, and the others. and my parents were well, it's very funny, but I was mad of this, and I just, with ULTRALAZER, I wanted to do same thing for children. If I don't want to be popular or something, but if I just know that children loved ULTRALAZER, and some were they talked to us and said that they know all power minerals. It was just it was really great to hear this.
Yeah.
So it was not really for adults, because
no,
they have a lot of things to love, and I prefer work for children.
Yeah, but we just have to adjust something, because Maxence have a little bit pessimist vision of the world, so he had a bit too much of violence or dark things, so we just have to adapt it to children, but not so much.
Yes, but because the publisher asked us to target specific ages, audience. So we have to be less violent.
Sure.
For me, you can kill a character on page. It's not a problem if this is written with good words. If it's show with not too many details. You can do something violent, but not hardcore, and just a free, non gratuit. So I accept what the publisher asked us, but I'm sure we could have make something more violent, and maybe Okay, but
And it's why because Maxence
But-
now is working on a really hardcore project.
Yeah.
After ULTRALAZER, he has to
Yes,
expose.
yes, now
Yeah.
it's
I,
for.
mean, I just think about something like, I don't know, Bambi, let's say, where
Mm.
Yes.
Bambi's
Yeah.
mom gets killed in the first 3 minutes, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yes,
you know, but it's not gory, it's not on camera, it's
Yeah.
know, that's the way you do it. You can have those things.
But
uh,
it's a trauma for a lot of people around
Yeah.
the world.
but you
Absolutely.
see,
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. You have 2 books, is that correct, out in France? Yeah.
Yeah.
The second book is coming to America as well. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
I think so.
it's coming to America.
I don't know.
I think
yes.
so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Very
don't
good.
remember
I don't know.
if they bought.
No,
the
ils avaient acheté les droits.
I don't know.
We
We
don't
don't know,
know,
but
I hope you will read the second tome.
Me too.
But-
No, that's why I was asking. That was why I was
Yeah,
asking.
yeah.
Do you see the story going further? Do you want to do a book 3, a book 4, a book 10?
So this is a complicated part because we have written the third book. We have made the storyboard of the third book, but we don't have the time to work on it now because we have a lot of different projects, and we work on different projects, including ULTRALAZER, but not on the comic book. So we don't have the time to work on it. But if everything go in the good way, we maybe will make it for
2025, 24, 25, it depends.
Yeah.
But it's
25,
okay.
25.
It's sure we do the third tome.
Yeah.
It's sure.
But
We have
at the
publisher
beginning,
is okay, and
at the beginning, Maxence think about
9.
a free trilogy. You know,
Trilogy.
a first trilogy on the second one and the third one, like 9 tomes. But I think we will just make the first trilogy on. We will see later, but for now, just finish the first trilogy.
Our publisher doesn't pay us enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's always true with comics, though.
Yeah.
That's always true with comics. Are they interested? Is your publisher interested in more? They want to see more?
Well, we don't really know
No, we
because
don't
we didn't talk about it. But the third books made so too many times, so I think they won't. They won't.
They won't go on it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I
know.
hope we see it. Honestly, I mean, I really like this. I really like this a
I
lot.
would love. I would
But
love
don't
to
worry
make.
because we changed the story to finish the trilogy, and even if we don't do the others, the first trilogy will finish. It's not okay. So
Yeah.
we think about the readers. And
Yeah,
we don't like when a series or comics or everything stop, and after no, we don't continue. Sorry, and
We will never see the end of the story, so
Yeah.
it's.
we will finish the first trilogy, and it will it can live alone, even if we don't continue.
Yes.
Sounds
And
good.
it was the way we thought the story at the beginning. There was three trilogies, but we wanted to have all trilogies separated, like in Star Wars, so you can see one trilogy, and at the end you know that this is the end of this arc, and so you have to. If you want to continue, you can, but you can just stop here, and sometimes it's better.
Sometimes it's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. Well, so let's wrap this up. The last question I ask, it's like the first question. I always ask the same question, and it's that, and I think you guys actually might have very interesting answers here. This is a series of interviews. We've interviewed well over 220 cartoonists, so it's a series that's watched by people who love comics and who want to make comics as well. And one of the things I often hear from people is, I want to make comics, but I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure. Well, you guys are you're the perfect person for this question because you didn't know what you were doing, and you know, I would love to hear if you had a piece of advice for an aspiring cartoonist, what that piece of advice might be.
Oh, it's for me it's really simple because it was a converging of our three minds at the beginning of the project. An imperfect story printed on, even read by one children, it's better than the new Lord of the Ring just in your mind. So just go on. It was just the, you know, we want to create universe. So yeah, just make it be living. So that's it. It will be imperfect, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I like that. I like that answer a lot. Maxence, do you have an answer?
C'est bien sur genre si c'est pour des gens qui veulent faire de la bande dessinée. For me, it depends if you want to do comics or if you want to be published. I think this is quite the same but very different. If you want to be published, I think you have to be strong in your mind and know what you want to make, and there will have some up time and very down, and sometimes you want to put everything in a trash bag and you want to die. But if you really want it, I have a little story. I was and I'm today a great fan of Mike Mignola, who worked on Hellboy, and I sent him a message because I wanted to do comics, but I didn't know how to do this. And I remember his wife answered me that he said everything that do it. If you want to make a comic book, just do it, and don't think too much. You have to go and to make this. And maybe don't listen too much to your publisher. Do what you really want to do. If you have something really interesting to say, or a point of view different of what you read before or what you've seen before, people who will read you will see you in your comics. So if you put it on the web and you have something different, they will see your work, and publisher will see it. And if they don't, they are just not the good publisher for you. And there are a lot of publishers very different. Some can be confident in your work, and maybe it's a good. You need more. You need the time to make a project, to find the good publisher, and sometimes you will maybe some authors are very talented, but they will never find a publisher, and it's yes, it's dommage.
Too bad.
It's bad for us, but this is like that. And sometimes you maybe you are not a good drawer, but you have a very good style, a very good story, good characters, and we saw this on at l'Attaque des Titans, Shingeki no Kyojin, Titans Attack. You know, he was not a really good drawer, but his style, universe were fantastic. The same for One Punch Man. I think everyone can have his chance, but it's really hard to stay strong, to make his idea on papers, and convince a publisher to give his confidence so strong in mind and maybe to know comment dire, se connaître soi-même vraiment bien.
Yourself.
To know yourself very well and know what is where you are strong. For me, I was a little bit shy, so I never give a call to a publisher to say, "Hey, publish me." Machin.
But he sent a 1,000 of mails.
Yeah.
Of email.
Yeah, a lot. And all months is, I want to work with you. I want to machin. And one day, we work with Yvan and Pauline, and I send a lot of mail, and there is one who worked, and I met the good person who saw something in our work and said, okay, we have something to do, and we made a second project, and now it's easier to make a project because we know all the structure of a publisher, and we know that you have to make a good document, very efficient, with some drawings. You have to explain really clearly, and to maybe to target a collection, a specific collection, because you know the publisher will see more precisely how your book will go in his collection. So after it's easier, but very
the
hard.
first is the harder.
Yeah,
The first hard, yeah.
And I talk a lot. So.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Pauline, is there anything you'd like to add to any of that?
Yeah, but I can't speak for illustrators, but for the writers, you can marry an illustrator. It's easier, like me. No, I'm joking. But I learned something from Maxence, is that to send projects. Because I can write 1,000 of comics, 1,000 of novels, and keep them in my office, because I don't think that it can be interesting for somebody else, and I don't want to ask to receive the email from the publisher who say no. Right. And I think the most people are more like me than Maxence, who send a lot of mails and continue. And the proof is that it works to pick up the good publisher and just work with him, not only to publish, but to improve your project and to do better. Sometimes they just send you a kind of advice, and it's really good because you understand why it doesn't work, but it's better for you to do a better story after. And now I send my project, I contact illustrators, and I feel really free to speak about my project. And it's okay. If it's not for this publisher, it's for another one. If it's not with this illustrator, is with another one, and you continue like that. And I think it's the best way to match and have a perfect team to do your project.
Yeah, I love it. I love that answer. That's great. That's really fantastic. I really want to thank you guys for taking the time
thank you very much.
to talk to us this afternoon. I hope you had some fun with this.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
If you'll just wait for 1 minute, let me do a little bookkeeping here, and we'll come back. We'll wrap it up. Ben, put me on a 1. Hello. If you're sitting at home and you want something to read, you want something that is got action, has got some great science fiction ideas, is a rich world building, has humor, has a message, you can't do much better than ULTRALAZER. I thought this was a swell book. I think you're going to really enjoy it. There's a second volume that's going to be coming out relatively soon. So I thoroughly recommend it. There's a button somewhere here on your computer that you can come and you can order it from us. We'll be happy to send you a copy, or join the club and you'll get a book like this every single month. And it's a really great program, I think. I want to make a couple of thanks. I want to thank Jordan, our producer, for doing all the backstage stuff that nobody sees, but that we couldn't exist without. I want to thank Ben for running the show and doing the cameras and doing all that stuff. Thank you, Ben. I want to thank my staff for being a staff, letting me sit in front of the camera and talk to cartoonists. It's because they do all the hard work. So thank you, Kat. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Zoe. I couldn't do it without you. I want to thank all of the members of the club out there. If we didn't have your membership, we couldn't do this. So thank you for your support. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to thank the people who make comics. Because if you weren't making comics, we couldn't sell them. I wouldn't have anything to do. And so I especially want to thank these people here, Maxence, Pauline, Yvonne. Thank you for making comics. Thank you for doing good comics. Thank you for making something that gives us a thing to talk about and get excited by.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for our new reader in a new country.
Yeah.
The most important part.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's what we try to do.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you guys this month. Wait, I forgot. This is the part I forgot. I always forget something. Next month, the Kids Club book is Buzzing. Sam Satine and Rye Hickman. Sam is going to be here in person, which will be fun. Rye will join us on video. So tune in for that in about a month. And then shortly before that, for the Adult Club, the book will be Cartoon Show, which is by Derek Ballard. This was a very interesting book about how hard it is to be a single parent in America these days and everything that works against it. And it was funny and smart. Everyone's going to love it. So watch for both of those shows coming up. The month after that, our Adult Club will be Dan Klaus for Monica. So keep your eyes open for that. Dan's going to be here in person. So I'm really looking forward to that. Other than that, we'll see you next month. Thank you for watching this episode of the Graphic Novel of the Month Club. If you enjoyed what you were watching, please subscribe and hit that bell up in the top corner. If you enjoyed the books that we're talking about and the creators that we're talking to, every month we pick a brand new book. The staff votes on it. It's a program that helps keep our store alive, and we'd love to have you as a member. You'll get a new book every month. Just follow that URL at the bottom of the screen.